Hello everyone and welcome back to Imperator Rome. I'm Lord Ford, this time with a guide on Syracuse. So Syracuse is the largest country in Sicily. Unfortunately, it's trapped between the rising power of Rome and the already strong power of Carthage. But if it controls all of Sicily, it can be pretty powerful. The reason this event is still up is because it starts when you start the game. You can either offend everybody around you and get claims on all of it, or you can befriend them and have no claims. In my tests, I found it much better to get all the claims on Sicily. I also will point out there's an achievement called Potter to King, which is own all of Sicily in your starting ruler's lifetime. It's very possible to do. Agathocles, I can't say that. Sorry for any Greek person. If you know how to say it, please put it in the comments. But is this guy. And he unfortunately does not have a unique bloodline. It kind of feels like he should. But he is cruel and a tyrant, even though he calls himself a king. If you're going to do this achievement, you have to take all of this. But, and this is something that stumped me for a while, Malta down here, Millet actually counts as part of Sicily. So just be aware you have to take that. Thankfully, you do not need to take this port. This part it counts as part of Africa. But you do need to take all of this in order to complete that achievement. It's quite difficult. It took me about 4 or 5 tries. I'll give you some tips on that as we go along. So Syracuse is known for its mercs. At the beginning of the game, you have a couple tributaries. And you basically have just tributaries. You're not a very strong nation due to the way the new levy mechanics work. You only have 3,500 troops, which is definitely not enough to fight Carthage or Rome. Carthage will just swarm you with all their little subjects, and Rome will just outright fight you and beat you at the beginning of the game. So there are multiple ways to expand as Syracuse. The first ones have to deal with their missions. So let's quickly go over the innovations first. You do not need, unlike many of my other guides, to go down the conversion laws. You can if you want to, but there's no point because most of your area is Hellenic and is of Hellenistic culture. The small exceptions of culture shouldn't give you any trouble because this is your starting region, so you're not going to be fighting too many rebellions. Which means that frees up your innovations for other stuff. You could go military. I don't recommend it. You're never going to be able to muster a large enough army to make tons of discipline matter. However, you could do the trick of getting starting experience, raise your levy, wait 8 months, suffer 2 months of war exhaustion, and then disband them to go through your Greek tradition trees. There are some good things in the Greek tradition trees. The downside I find with the Greek tradition trees is they do not give innovations, which puts you at a disadvantage compared to, say, Roman or some of the other culture groups. But you can boost your heavy infantry to make them stronger, have more siege ability, have better forts. And also because you're a maritime power, getting some of the ship stuff is not a real big issue. It will actually help you. However, the other options obviously are civic, which gets you your income, which actually I recommend because having a lot of money as Syracuse is a very good idea. And then oratory, where you can do improve opinions, have reduced aggressive expansion, and keep your subjects loyal. Not as needed, the improved relations is very useful, but you can get just as big of an advantage from taking an oratory idea that gives you plus 33% opinion. In terms of your ideas, I recommend morale, corruption, and probably improve opinion. The improve opinion is going to be used to, if you're going to conquer all of Sicily, to improve relations with Rome. At the start of the game, you can ally Rome, and I do recommend you do. They will drag you into multiple wars as they conquer areas, but they can usually win the wars without your help. And most of the people they fight will not be coming to your islands. And by being allied to them, it stops the odds of them coming to attack you. So I recommend you ally Rome either at the beginning or within a couple years before they get aggressive. However, once you ally them, they still will not love you tons. So if you improve the relations, you can keep Rome as an ally for I managed to do it for most of the game. It's not overwhelmingly hard. They do tend to want your lands, but I actually managed to conquer my way all the way up to here and then was allied to them, and they said nothing about me owning half the lands they wanted to. So that's a very possible option. So I honestly recommend you probably go Civic, get the additional trade routes and income. Syracuse happily starts down here with the Shield of Athena, which gives you 2 trade routes. So you can actually make a lot of money from trade, and that's very important because Syracuse has bonuses towards mercenaries. Their heritage gives reduced citizen happiness, which is unfortunate. And reduced ship damage is nice, but the big thing is 10% reduction on Merc Army maintenance is very powerful. If you stack it with some other stuff, you will basically manage to you'll basically fight the war with mercs. Sadly, since you're only a local power, you only get 1 merc army at the beginning, but you can get around that through innovations and stuff. Let's see if I can point them out. I believe there's one over here under ships. There's professional sailors over here, so 4 deep, 5 deep into the naval tree, which I don't usually use. You can get both maritime laws, but you can also get an additional merc army, which is nice. And there's some other ones scattered around, I think under oratory? Yeah, Mercenary Alliance. You take this, it also reduces merc maintenance, reduces your manpower, it gives you 2 merc armies. Could be worth doing as Syracuse. You could get it. You could get it at the start of the game if you really wanted to, I think. Yeah. But the 5% merc maintenance is not a huge thing at the beginning. But the merc armies is nice. You're better off, though, going civic so you can actually have the money to maintain it, because your actual treasury income is really sad at the beginning of the game, and they cost like 5 or 6 gold a month. You do start with some unique omens, though, which are kind of fun. Or some unique deities. You can look through them all, but they're kind of fun. You start off with a temple of this one. Population growth, manpower, recovery speed. You can change this. The population growth is actually really strong if you just stay in Sicily and don't expand into like Italy or North Africa. If you do, you might want to switch to something like Greek. Athena is not bad for research points. As you can see, the other ones are interesting. Taking Helios actually counteracts your citizen penalty from your Syracuse and ideas and allows you to have more integrated. It's something to consider. I don't recommend it, though. Your starting deity of Athena Nicephorus, Athena the Victorious, is pretty good. It's probably worth sticking with that. You could theoretically swap to Heracles here to get some discipline, but you get morale from her if you activate her. Plus you get monthly military experience, which is solid. The Apollo Diamaeus, I honestly probably would recommend you swap it to Hermes for commerce income. Also, don't forget to swap your stance probably to Mercantile to get more money. You're not going to be conquering so much land that you need the AE reductions. Now, in terms of the missions, you have 2 missions. The first one is what you're going to use if you want to do From Potter to King achievement. The second one, Death to Tyrants, is if you want to put a republic back in charge of Syracuse. So we'll look at that shortly. Basically, you can have stuff like Tentative Whisters, Strike the Foundation. You can get mercenary support to overthrow them. You can get the Tyrant's heir to overthrow the king, and then you'll attempt to overthrow him in a coup. Or you can get support for a civil war, foreign support. So you can get people like Carthage, maybe other nations to support you, and then you'll start a civil war if you win it. You can tie up any loose ends and form a republic, if you want to be a republic. Republics have their advantages, but they also have their downsides. Let's go over conquering lands. If you take it, your ruler gets this event here: Martial, Charisma, and Popularity gain. Cool. Now things slightly get more interesting. This one right here, you can attempt to get countries, mainly these ones right here, as feudatories. So you have basically 4 chances to get feudatories. I have tried improving relations, having better diplomatic relations, sending gifts. It doesn't seem to make a huge difference. It probably does. I haven't seen it work. Usually you get 2. If you're really lucky, you get 3. I have never seen anyone get all 4. You pick this. It takes a while. You begin diplomacy with them. There's a chance they join. There's a chance they don't join. You have claims on all the island of Sicily, though. So if they don't join, you want to declare war on them and any allies or league they might have. It's always just going to be within those 4 countries. So usually you can conquer it. You usually want to annex them all. But you could make a case of leaving them as feudatories, at least for a while, to help with your Carthaginian war. But you definitely want to either take this one or this one just to connect your lands, is my opinion. But it's up to you. Once you do, you get all these various missions here that if you control, people are of your subject, you can get integration speed. If you subdue the whole area of Syracuse and Sicilia here, you get Provincial Investments. Sadly, this counts as part of Syracuse, which delays you. You can also you can get some gold out of it. This one takes a while. If you get citizens or nobles and freemen, you can get extra population and more building slots, which is nice. If you get a ton of money, you can get 10% tax bonus. Oh, excuse me. And then you can upgrade the fort there. Which will help. The problem is if anyone gets to your fort already, you've probably already lost the war, considering where Syracuse is on the islands. But then you can get farming settlements, Horn of Plenty, which will boost your food and trade goods. And then if you finish it, you finish the mission. I don't think there's an actual event there. Not to my memory. So the question comes, how do you conquer all this island in one ruler's lifetime? Well, if you're lucky, you get 2 to 3 feudatories, you conquer the other ones. Then the issue comes, how do you beat Carthage? I have found the easiest way to beat Carthage is not to attack Carthage at the beginning as soon as you can. It's to actually go this way and try and unite your borders with that of Rome. Rome is going to invade this area pretty early on. You want to try and take over this area, Brutia and everything south. Specifically these small countries here. Some of them are tributaries of Brutia, which means if you attack, you call them in. The rest are feudatories here of you, which is really nice. They will help you join your wars. You can make all these guys here feudatories if you want. The reason I say you want to get your borders to that of Rome is so when you declare war on Carthage, which you want to declare war on Carthage, in my experience, rather than one of their subjects. It's up to you, though. Rome can then just march through your lands to get here and help with the fighting. On your own, I haven't managed to win Syracuse versus Carthage. Carthage has way more levies, and it's got its dozens of subjects here. Well, it feels like dozens of subjects that will all send troops by sea to attack you. I'm sure you can do it if you've got good mercs, but it's hard. It's much easier to ally Rome, use them. You initially do the sieging. Rome shows up when Carthage sends armies, helps you beat them. You peace out. The odds of you getting all of the land you need from Carthage in one war are very slim. So what I recommend you do is you take Carthage's land here, quickly build or use your fleet here to sneak enough troops down here to siege this down. It is a fort, and be aware the Carthaginian navy will stop you. If you can land, you've got the settlement pretty much locked up. And just take their land. Don't really go after their subjects here. You can take their subjects if you win a resounding war. I have not been able to get enough war score. Maybe if Rome invaded Sardinia or North Africa, you could pull it off. I don't recommend you try to invade them. You'll be crushed. But if you take Carthage out of this whole area, they've just got 2 subjects. You can easily declare war for one subject and then declare war on the next subject the next couple months. Siege them down before Carthage can send troops. Since they won't own land here, they won't be able to raise a levy to fight you, so you'll just be fighting their subjects for some time. And then hope and pray that you get enough war score to take those 2. And then you own the island and you get the achievement, at which point you can decide where to go. You couldn't try invading Greece. You're pretty strong. I would honestly recommend probably going after Carthage or Rome. Rome at that point is going to be pretty huge. It's probably not the easiest. But if you can use Rome to help you fight Carthage, you could easily get Sardinia and then invade North Africa and make a Syracuse empire down here, all while keeping Rome mostly happy. Or you could try betraying Rome, allying yourself with some of their enemies, and hopefully a successor or two. Hopefully the Antigonids conquer Greece or something, and then try and beat Rome that way. I don't recommend it though. Rome is just brokenly strong. It's much easier to stay allies with them, but it's up to you. Sadly, there's no real formable nation other than forming Sicily itself, for which you have to own all the land, and you will. And you can do that. If you're really desperate, you can go on to trying to form Magna Graecia, or Grecia, and for that you need to conquer land Rome owns, but that could be your other option. It'll help you grow. You'll get free more provincial investments. If you can do that, you've easily beaten Rome already, so you can probably go on to unite Italy and replace Rome as the powerhouse of the Western world. So that's a very good option. So best of luck to you. There's really not much else I can teach you other than Merc armies help a lot. The reduction, get the other ones. You can fund and keep Merc's armies in the field longer than most nations can, and cheaper, so it becomes a very viable strategy. Sadly, you don't have a huge population base. Once you unite all of Sicily, and if you leave on your deity here that gives pop growth, you can get a pretty good population going here, and it'll be pretty quickly converted to your culture and your religion. You can play it rather tall as Syracuse. If you do fight Rome, fortify the Strait of Messina here. Put like level 5 or 6 fort here, and then every time they go to cross, you basically move your navy, which should be strong, into the strait here so that they can't send reinforcements. Crush their army. Since they can't retreat, you can stack wipe them. Just keep repeating, and hopefully you can beat Rome that way. It sucks though, so good luck. Be aware that you're going to get events from Etna erupting and stuff as well. So enjoy. Syracuse is fun. It's hard, but if you succeed, it feels great because you've either beaten Carthage, and then you've probably beaten Rome as well. So goodbye for now, and I'll see you all in another guide. Thanks for watching. Subscribe and like and all that stuff too. Bye.